Yes, you heard that right. Tiffany A. Henyard might no longer be the mayor of Dalton. And yeah, word on the street says she's also been kicked out of her other gig as supervisor of Thornton Township, which means that whole super mayor nickname she branded herself with, the one she paraded around like a crown, could be officially retired. But let's be honest, title or not, she's still the super mayor in the eyes of anyone who's watched this circus unfold. The scandals, the lies, the chaos. That brand isn't disappearing anytime soon. Right now, though, Tiffany is staring down what could be the biggest reckoning of her entire career. We're not just talking about ignored calls or missed meetings anymore. She's now facing daily fines, up to $1,000 per day, for refusing to release public records that Illinois law requires her to hand over. And get this, she's been ordered to appear in court, not over Zoom, not through an email link, in person. The first Friday of June could be the day it all catches up to her. Because if she skips this one like she's dodged everything else, this time, it's not a slap on the wrist. It's contempt of court, real jail time, real handcuffs, real consequences. The same woman who once ruled over two governments like they were her personal empire could soon find herself in a cold cell for allegedly abusing her authority, burying public information, and treating taxpayer dollars like they were her own personal ATM. But don't worry, we're breaking down every wild twist, every shady detail, starting with one of the most jaw-dropping moments caught on record. Picture this. Tiffany Henyard, sitting at a board meeting, cool as ever, saying, "I don't handle anything related to credit cards." Like she's totally detached from the mess. But hold up, weren't some of those questionable charges directly tied to her? Vegas trips, lavish dinners, first-class upgrades. And when she was pressed on it, she brushed it off with, "Of course I know," followed by the classic dodge. "Any other questions?" Yeah, a lot. Like, why are there receipts from Cafe Hollywood and hot and juicy crawfish, both right off the Vegas Strip? Why pretend like you weren't there when the evidence says otherwise? Her response? "I just answered that." Except she didn't. Not even close. And that's her move every time. Deny, deflect, distract. She paints herself as a victim, calls the board her enemies, accuses the media of twisting stories. But the receipts? They don't lie. They tell the story plain and clear. Tiffany wasn't traveling alone. She brought township officials, sometimes even their spouses, on business trips that looked a lot more like luxury getaways. Every bit of it funded by taxpayer dollars. At the same time, she was pocketing extra travel stipends for those same trips, most of which had nothing to do with Dalton or Thornton Township. Then came the collapse, because watchdog groups started digging deeper. And the loudest voice in the room? Edgar County watchdogs. They filed FOIA requests for basic transparency, receipts, statements, records. And Tiffany ignored them all. Even after being stripped of her positions, she clung to those documents like they held nuclear codes. Why? What's she hiding? Because what's already been exposed is bad enough. Like the Lightfoot report, an independent audit that tore through her spending and barely scratched the surface of what's really going on. Let's talk about that luxury SUV, a brand new Chevy Tahoe, base price around $93,000. Already outrageous. But the deal she signed off on made it worse. After the interest and shady fees stacked up, taxpayers were on the hook for nearly $150,000. That's over $55,000 down the drain on a single car. One trustee even joked it looked like a teenager got hustled into a 27% loan, and they weren't far off. The lease papers don't lie. Signed December 27th, 2022. Base price, $93,216.71. Interest, $55,929.49. Total cost, $149,146.20. And when asked about it during a public meeting, Tiffany stared right at the numbers and said, "I don't see that." Like she was reading from a different page. No denial, no defense, just pure indifference. And you'd think that would be the peak of the madness, right? Wrong. Because that SUV was just the start. Let's talk about her security. Instead of relying on standard police protection, she built herself a VIP-style security entourage. These weren't just guards. They were cash machines in uniform. One officer, Terry Young, somehow logged 303 hours in a 2-week pay period. There are only 336 hours in 14 days. Do the math. That means he had just 33 hours left for sleep, food, and being alive. Impossible, right? Yet the timesheet was approved. And his paycheck? Over $13,000 for 2 weeks. That's more than some people earn in months. S.O., how does she respond when this stuff hits the light? Classic Henyard playbook. She cries foul, blames trustees for betrayal, accuses journalists of lying, and calls everyone else racist, sexist, or jealous. Every problem has a villain, and it's never her. But this time, the excuses won't work. The Cook County judge assigned to her case has had enough. No more Zoom appearances. No more ghosting. She's now ordered to appear in person and explain herself. Because if she doesn't, we're not talking about embarrassment anymore. We're talking about jail. Actual jail. Handcuffs. A perp walk. The so-called super mayor might finally be walking straight into the kind of accountability she spent years dodging. And if you think this is just some courtroom drama, you're dead wrong. The feds are circling. The FBI is reportedly digging deep into the misuse of public funds and the retaliation tactics Tiffany used against her political enemies. The Illinois Attorney General's office, they're in it too. Even with her stripped of every title she ever held, the chaos she created is still spreading like wildfire. The new mayor, Jason House, who took over after Tiffany's exit, is already knee-deep in his own mess, fighting a strange legal battle over the historic home of Dalton legend Pope Leo. That whole situation deserves its own episode, but the fact that it even landed on his plate shows just how deep the wreckage goes. See, Tiffany's favorite defense line has always been, "I'm just the face of Dalton. I don't control everything." But that excuse doesn't fly anymore. Not with federal agents watching. Not with judges demanding answers. Not with taxpayers who've had enough. Because now, there are paper trails, signed contracts, credit card transactions, payroll records, all leading straight back to her. And just when you think she goes silent, she hops on Facebook Live, calling everything fake news. She says the media is out to destroy her, that she's being targeted because she's a strong black woman. Her go-to line? "They're not coming for me because of what I did. They're coming for me because of who I am." And sure, that might still work for a handful of loyal supporters. But for most people, that script is worn out. The public doesn't want pity anymore. They want proof. They want accountability. They want receipts. They want someone to finally pay the price for all this chaos. Because honestly, at this point, the entire saga feels like a courtroom reality show waiting to happen. Cameras rolling. Every meltdown, every outburst, every lie exposed in real time. And if video ever surfaces of her being held in contempt. If those cuffs actually click, you already know we're breaking that footage down frame by frame. Because this isn't just another local scandal. It's a warning shot to every township, every city, every voter who ever got fooled by the fake smiles and big promises. This is what happens when power goes unchecked, when mayor turns into a monarch and the people get left holding the bill. And right now, that bill is past due. Tiffany Henyard is still sitting on public records. She's still been ordered to appear in court, in person. And if she doesn't show, or tries to stall again, it's over. Jail time. The fines are already stacking up, and now that the super mayor has lost that massive paycheck, the pressure's about to crush what's left of her empire. And get this, reports say she's even behind on rent. Yeah, as wild as that sounds, eviction could be her next headline. Subscribe, follow on socials, and check the links in the description to stay updated. This has been your full breakdown of the Tiffany Henyard saga. And from where we're sitting, time's up, the cash is gone, and there's nowhere left for the super mayor to run.